Good morning, day 15, the start of week 3 on the trail. Wow, crazy. So we got up really early this morning. Um, Last night was definitely the warmest night of the trip. Didn't zip up the sleeping bag. In all honesty, I probably should have not even had the rain fly on. Although, I mean, you're kind of close to other campers, so maybe not, but at least have the vestibules open, which I did not do because I've just been so used to it getting cold there at some point in the night, um, but not last night. So still got a good night's sleep, feeling pretty good. We've already gone like 2 miles this morning. We're off the Sawyer Pond Trail. We walked a little bit of Forest Service Road, and now we're connecting soon to the Signal Ridge Trail. And as an it's not even 7 o'clock yet, by the way, so we did get an early start. And as an added bonus, we had this crossing that was not rock hoppable. So we, just threw off the pack, put the Crocs on, crossed, had a nice refreshing cold foot bath early in the morning. That water is cold, which is nice. And then we're just changing back into our trail runners and on the move again. But once again, so lucky. The sun is out, clear skies. I'll try and get a signal on the top of Carrigain and see what the weather has in store for us as we are slowly but surely approaching the Prezzies. Will the weather hold out for us? Who knows? But we'll see. Anyway, that's our update for the morning, and we'll check in later. Hello, friends. Day 15 update. So we've been on this, I guess for lack of a better word, herd path from the Sawyer Pond trailhead to Signal Ridge Trail. Kind of interested in the history of this one. I don't see any blazes, so first I was thinking it was an abandoned trail back in the day. I am familiar with it because doing winter hikes of Carrigain, one time especially, I definitely veered off on this. Either it's a popular cross-country skiing or snowshoe trail because this path was a lot more defined than the path to the summit. So I ended up taking this path for probably a good half mile before I realized I wasn't on the right trail. I wasn't on Signal Ridge and had to backtrack. So I knew that this trail existed, but I never walked the whole thing. I wouldn't call it a bushwhack, but I'd call sections of it a little adventurous. You're basically following one direction the whole way, so, and the brook is on your left. So it's not hard. It's not too hard to stay on track, but there's definitely a lot of overgrowth. You can tell that it at some point got a lot of use, but it hasn't gotten a lot of use in recent years. So it's interesting. I'm wondering what that's all about. Maybe someone watching this can fill me in, or at some point I'm sure I'll do some research on it and figure it out. But other than that, the other thing I wanted to mention, hard to believe, just because conditions were so much different 2 weeks ago. Had my first 2 tick encounters yesterday. So now I'm always, at every break, I'm stopping and making sure the little buggers aren't trying to attach to me. The first one was when I got to the Sawyer Pond trailhead at the Kank side, where you're crossing the Swift River, but it's very low at that, very wide and very low at that crossing. So as I was taking off the trail runners and putting the Crocs on and then getting ready to cross, I noticed a tick that was like crawling on my leg and, flicked it off before. He tried to stay on my hand, but eventually flicked them off, and that was the end of that. Then at the campsite yesterday, at the Sawyer Pond campsite, on the actual wooden platform, so I was just chilling there for a few hours, just relaxing and hydrating and eating in the shade. Lo and behold, another tick crawling on my leg. And sometimes, like when your legs they're a little beat up, so sometimes something that looks like dirt or dried blood is actually a tick. So now I'm being a lot more aware of checking, especially after this little quasi bushwhack we just did. I really wanted to make sure I didn't have any friends tagging along, and luckily I don't. Honestly, if I'd known it was going to be as overgrown as it was, I would have zipped on the long pants. But it was already so hot this morning, even at like 5 a.m. I really was avoiding doing that. But for that section, if I happen to come across that section again, I'll definitely put on the long pants just to kind of save the legs some scrapes. Other than that, we're good. I imagine we're going to start seeing a lot of hikers tagging Carrigain today. It's like 8 o'clock, so we're a little ahead of the main pack, I'm sure, but I'm sure a lot of folks will be going faster than I am as I lug this pack up the mountain, although it's not really that bad. For water today, I knew we'd have a lot of water once we got down the other side of Carrigain, so I only filled up the hydration bladder, so we're only carrying 3 liters. And when you're only carrying 3, when sometimes you're carrying 6, it makes a huge difference, so no big deal there. I'm going to have a little breakfast, a little granola bar, and then we're going to set out to hit Carrigain, and we'll check in later. Hello, day 15 update. We're headed to the fire tower up there, the top of Mount Carrigain. It's about 11 in the morning. Glad we got an early start to beat some of the heat. We're going to get there someday. That's Washington. That's a few days out. Just another great day up here in the Whites. And we're just going to keep trucking and take a nice long break at the summit before we have to go down Desolation, which, based on the conditions coming up Carrigain, it's going to be messy, but we'll see when we get there. Day 15 update. We're at the top of Mount Carrigain. That's Signal Ridge. That's where we came from. Mount Washington over here. That's where we'll be, hopefully in a few days. The weather is perfect, and we're going to have a well-deserved snack. Hello. Day 15 of the Direttissima. It's your midday update. It's about 1 in the afternoon. Man, we had a great summit on Carrigain and actually had the fire tower to ourselves for a good 20 minutes, like the perfect amount of time to snack and dry out the feet and get some self-service for a little bit. I was surprised because I got a really early start this morning, and there were 3 solo hikers with or without dogs who were coming down as I was going up, and they definitely weren't like staying overnight up there. They didn't have big packs, so they got real early starts. Well, you know what, I'm not sure if the road is open to the trailhead yet or not. That would make a difference, because typically until sometime in May that road is closed, so it adds like 1.5 miles, 2 miles of road walking each way. So who knows. Anyway, I got up to the summit. Just another gorgeous day. I'm glad I got an early start because it was certainly getting hot, and as I was gaining elevation it was cooling down. I felt really strong going up Carrigain, which was nice. And then after enjoying the summit and just really feeling good, I knew I had to tackle Desolation going down, and I had not gotten a good scouting report about its condition. However, that was from at least 7 to 10 days ago, and it actually was fine. Certainly was a little bit of post-holing, and actually, because it's such a steep trail, when there's a little bit of icy sections, You just have to be really careful with a big pack and a steep trail to take your time. I did like lose my footing once and did a brief spill, nothing major. And I was surprised also as I was going down Desolation, there was a solo hiker going up. And then he was a younger guy, and then a little bit later, another older solo hiker going up with no micro spikes and really sketchy section. I would not recommend that for another few weeks. I mean, if he's going down Desolation, he's going to have a bad time, and he's going to have a scary time going up, because there are some spots you just can't go to the side of the ice. You have to get on that ice and trust your micro spikes. So other than that, so now I'm a little worn out after coming down that steep trail, but it's still early in the day. It's like 1 in the afternoon. I'm going to have a couple cups of Tailwind. You know, I'm not taking the full dose, just enough to get some electrolytes and some fresh cold water from the brook in front of me, I guess. Carrigain Brook is over there. I'm sure you can hear it. Oh, yeah. All right, we'll get up and show you, because maybe you can't see it. So you're able to get some fresh water from the brook. Sweet. Try to eat a little something. Had a nice big snack of cheese and pepperoni on the summit, so feeling good as far as that goes. And kind of have to decide how much further we want to go today. I think my strategy of not like pushing super hard is paying off, because then I always feel pretty good in the morning and ready to go. And it's just been these last 4-5 mountains. We're really not getting a good ridge traverse and banging out a bunch of peaks. We're going up one, going all the way down to the valley, going up, getting two, going all the way down to the valley, going up, getting one, going all the way down to the valley. So we're not really getting any momentum with like multiple peaks in one day. That's just because that's where we're at right now, but that's going to change in a couple days. The one other thing, well, I did have self-service. I was able to hop on Mountain Forecast, and it looks like we are going to get a little rain coming in tonight, some rain tomorrow. Not heavy, but enough where, you know, it'll definitely make a difference. And I think the temperatures are going to go back to more normal spring temperatures. So we'll lose these 70, 80 degree days and get back more into the 50s, maybe the low 60s, which is fine by me. I actually would prefer that. Other than that, we're just going to probably chill here for about a half hour or so, throw on the pack, start walking, and see how far we get, and probably start looking for a campsite around 4, 5 at the latest. I don't think I want to get too close to Zealand Falls Hut. It is the weekend. It is a nice day. There are a couple campsites. Sorry about the finger. Professional vlogger here. There are a couple campsites, stealth sites that are near the hut, that are just legal. They're just like outside the boundary. But I don't know if they'll even be available, just because it's a Saturday night and it's nice. So I'm probably going to stop short of that with the plan. Well, we can talk about the plan later. I've already been rambling on for 6.5 minutes. So we're going to chill and we'll check in later. Hello friends, day 15 update. We've been walking along the Shoal Pond Trail for a couple of miles now, with some thunder in the background and some light rain coming down, and I don't mind it. It's actually cooled things down quite nicely. It's probably in the high 50s right now, and it's not pouring, so We're getting close, I think, to 14 mile, 15 mile day. We don't want to go much further than that. There is a campsite I've scouted out in the past off of Ethan Pond Trail. We still got a ways to go to get there, probably an hour away or so. Oh, Shoal Pond Trail, by the way, it's always a bit claustrophobic. I don't think it gets a lot of love. And if you have a fear of spiders, do not take this trail. I have to issue a public apology. There's one right there, to all the spiders on the there you see them. This is what I've been walking through for the past 2 miles. Public apology to all the spiders on the Shoal Pond Trail, messing up your spider webs. I don't think anyone's been walking through this trail in a while. Oh, we got another water crossing, so I'm gonna sign off for now, and we'll check in later. Just want to give you kind of a flavor. It's kind of cool hearing the thunder, but knowing that we're at such a low elevation, we are safe down here. And it's actually quite comfortable. As long as we're not soaked and it's not hypothermia temperatures, and it's not, we don't mind a little rain. Everything's wet anyway. We'll check in later. Hello friends, day 15. Whew. Oh boy. Right after I made that last snippet saying it was raining and thundering, but not really raining too much, the skies opened up and it was a downpour. I probably hiked in heavy rain for about an hour. Looked at a couple of spots around Shoal Pond, but I knew there were better spots on the Ethan Pond Trail. So as I was getting more pruny and soaking wet, just kept going and finally arrived at a nice spot, but it was still downpouring. But you know, if you're going to be hiking any kind of long distance, there are going to be times where you're going to be caught in heavy rain. It's just the way it is. So I waited a few minutes to see if it would let up a tiny bit, and it didn't seem like it was letting up anytime soon. I should have waited, but I was getting impatient. So I ripped the tent out, threw down the tarp, and the tarp was like getting puddles almost immediately. And I debated with like just trying to throw up the fly with the poles. I said, no, I'll do it real quick. I'll throw the tent down and I'll get the fly up super quick. Well, guess what? It wasn't quick enough. Although I probably got the fly up in under a minute, with heavy downpour, it doesn't really matter. The inside of the tent was puddly, which is never great. But once I had the fly on top, I could kind of I got the vestibules up real quick with tent stakes, and at least I could have everything under and protect it from getting any wetter. I mean, my pack is soaked. That's kind of why I have everything in stuffed sacks and Ziploc bags, because, you know, I'm not a big fan of the rain cover. And I don't care if the pack is wet, as long as everything inside is dry, and everything is. So that's great. So even though you could feel like the temperature dropping with the rain, once I was like under the fly and inside this enclosed area, it was not like cold, not like shivering cold. I don't think it's in the mid 50s even, so it's still relatively comfortable. I quickly got the air mattress going, used an old pair of socks to basically squeegee out all the rain inside the tent as best I could, just kind of wiping a dry sock back and forth along the floor of the tent, wringing them out, and repeat. So, you know, the tent is still wet but not puddly, and so that's fine. I'm on the air mattress. The sleeping bag is dry. All my clothes are dry. I just had to rip off my hiking shirt, socks, pants. They're just all dripping wet, and just wring them out. Just throw on a dry pair of clothes, so everything's good with that. And tomorrow morning we'll just throw the wet ones back on because I think we're going to be having more rain tomorrow. My hands are still pruny. It's probably been about half hour, 40 minutes since I got the tent up. And then of course, because I don't know if it's going to be a steady rain all night, I went down to the creek, the brook, whatever it is, and loaded up on water just so I can have a hot decaf, and I'll be all set for making some hot food tonight, which is going to be really good with the rain. I don't even think I need to filter any water for my bladder for tomorrow because we're not that far from Zealand Hut. We didn't quite make it to the Thoreau Falls junction, but even so, I should be able to get to the hut with the water that's still in there. And just like Galehead, they're in caretaker service now. So I should be able to load up on water there and then strike out probably in the rain for hail. And then hopefully I can at least set up camp tomorrow where it's not a downpour. But we'll deal with that tomorrow. So right now I'm just kind of drying off, warm and dry, so that's great. Drying off, start to make some dinner. And we ended up almost going 15 miles today. It was such a gorgeous day on top of the summit of Carrigain. Shoal Pond Trail, man, not just a muddy, boggy, claustrophobic mess of a trail. Still fun, but definitely not my favorite trail in the Whites. But who am I to complain? I mean, if I'm not maintaining it and brushing it back, then I really have nothing to say about it. I'm glad the trail's there. I'm glad it connected me to here. So that's that. We're going to sign off, get everything recharged, electronics, body, mind, spirit for tomorrow. We got another peak in. That's awesome. I have to count. We're over halfway. I'm not sure exactly where we are, but that's awesome. And the next few days, we're going to be making some real progress, I think. Feeling good, feeling strong. And that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow on Sunday.